Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's a bit of a longer one than usual, as I try to keep my videos at least under 10 minutes. But it's more of a two videos in one. We've got a repotting, off-season repotting of a picea spruce, along with how to grow moss for your bonsai trees. It's a method that works well. Let's get started. So before we get started today on learning how to do this moss trick with the mesh, we do have a bit of a potting up to do on a picea spruce. And this is the tree. It has been absolutely battered by birds, ripping out all the roots. But we're going to get it in a nice pot today and hopefully not disturb much more rootage. I was planning on styling it this autumn, but I was probably going to have to wait till next year, as you don't want to insult it too much. Let's get it in this pot. This is the nice pot I want to use. It's been well used in the past. Not even going to bother taking out these wires and the old mesh. But it's a nice pot from China, nice unglazed, which I think can go quite lovely with this evergreen spruce. Lovely. Let's get to it. Right, now this should just lift up beautifully. Oh, we've got loads of lovely fresh roots in there. I think it's going to be a bit of a pain to get into that pot, but I don't particularly want to disturb the roots at all, and if I can get away with it, I will. There is another wire under there somewhere. Where are you? No, you're an old root, old root, old root. I think we can have some big roots hanging off. I may need a bigger pot. Got some lovely worms in there. Right, let's get my lovely little root hook out and gently tease it. Most people will tell you to go with chopsticks because it's more gentle. The way I see it, if you could be gentle with a chopstick, you can be gentle with one of these. If you could be harsh with one of these, you can be harsh with a chopstick. So what we're going to do is just, without disturbing it, I've still got loads of feed on this tree. I recently applied some blood and bone. That's that wire. That's what I was looking for. Let's get that out. Is that tangled in? So I bought this at a discount price at the local garden centre, which you guys will soon realise I get a lot of my material from. Hello, slug. And I don't like buying trees that are pre-made. I really don't. I like to make trees myself. I hope you guys can see this in the video. If not, it's going to be pointless recording it. There's still some Osmocote from when I got it in this, which I did remove some because sometimes Osmocote does look like slug eggs. Slug eggs are more clear. Osmocote has a yellowish colour. But sometimes I've seen slug eggs be a bit yellow. I've seen Osmocote be clear as well. So all types on the brand, I'm guessing. There's this horrible root here coming all the way off here. I don't actually like that, but let's see if we can just slide that into the pot. It's almost working, almost there. I think we need to try to do this as quick as possible because I want to get onto the main subject. Right, this root here looks rotted, but it's not. It's just covered in mud. But there is a large chunk of something in there, which I'm hoping hasn't got. Yeah, look at that, look. That hasn't even got anything. That looks like a taproot. And I'm going to use the wire cutters to get that off. I know, using the wrong tools, but these are cheap tools. I stopped buying expensive tools because the way I work, sometimes I get too eager and they break just as easy as the cheap tools. There's so many worms in this. Evident of lovely healthy soil. But it also means it's possibly been staying wet for too long. And I think it's because it's still got all this nursery soil in it. A little shake. See now, I kind of watered these roots up here. It looks like they're dying off and going dry. Apart from, I may still be able to use them. And this is where I cut it previously. I had more branches out here. That's a root that isn't even attached to anything. An old root. Now, of course, let's take some of this off. Just give it a shake, so we're not really disturbing any of the roots that much. You see, just shaking it, I've got all them fine fibrous roots there. You just kind of tuck these in. It's going to be interesting doing this is the tree I'm going to be doing the mesh with, so it's going to be interesting. Got some lovely collected moss, and that grows naturally in garden pots in my garden. Now, before we get that in there, I want to get some wires, which should be, so we've got the wire in. I'm just going to use some of the original soil that was in the potting basket, or the fish pond basket. Yeah, worm, you can stay in there. Along with the potting up, I'm going to be using Oceana root boost. Absolutely swear down by the stuff. And she just goes in the soil like that. It's got everything the roots need to grow and recover. Now I've got to remember which side I chose as the front. I don't think that was it. It's actually quite hollow under there as well. It's quite flat. In future that should be looking lovely. I think that was the front. Now what we're going to do is just drive that down. Just push them roots in. Eventually I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. That's definitely going to be interesting with the moss. I'll show you how to work the moss in as well. And I'm just going to feed that wire under there. I don't know why I'm doing a tutorial on the potting, but it's kind of two videos in one. On my Instagram and Facebook, I've had people waiting for this repot on this tree when I got it. That's why I'm adding it in too. And then just want to tie that wire in like that. Now, where's my pliers? The old lift and twist. How do you know if your wire's in properly? I'll show you in a minute. If you can do that, your tree's in properly. Actually tuck that in. Don't know, I'm actually going to have to moss coming under there, so it's going to be interesting when I do it. Right, fill with soil. Right, now that's in the pot, it now gets the moss treatment. Clock's saying 12 minutes 40 left. Let's see if we can do it. This is the moss I've collected today. Some beautiful moss. It's got some little bits of grass in there. And let's show you how to do this. So first of all, see all this soil? We just need to carefully with our hands get rid of that. Any hard lumps can come off. Okay. Don't worry about the floor. Let's do a clean up in the studio anyway. And that is looking beautiful. And it's got these lovely little spore heads here. And that looks like a lovely corner piece. I'm just going to push it down. Take out any bits of grass you see growing in it. Any bits of weed. Tell you what, let's get all this moss out. Some luxurious lush moss in here. See now, because I'm in Norfolk's quite a damp place most of the time anyway. Sorry, I need to be holding this up so you can see it. And there's a hard lump in there still. There's a luxurious place. Luxurious. A damp place. Nothing luxurious about Norfolk apart from the crime rate is nice and low. That's luxurious. Shocker. Nice damp place where moss just grows everywhere. What you need is a bit of a soil. Hang on, let's try something. If I get my old, very gently shaking it, just to get it all off. I see some roots in there. Now, unless it's Irish moss, there shouldn't be any roots, which I'm guessing the roots are these little bits of grass here growing. I wouldn't mind the grass growing if it stayed short. Actually a bit of liverwort in there as well. We want to take that out because that will overtake before you know it, and that will kill off the moss. There's some old moss under there, looks like spaggy moss. And we're just gonna push it in. Push it into the soil. That's looking, starting to look quite nice already. I think it's easier just with the fingers. Just get rid of all that nice soil. I think this is grown on topsoil. It smells like earthy soil, really earthy soil, so it's quite light and fluffy, so maybe it's not topsoil. Maybe it's not. There's a lot of spores on here. And I might just push it down in that. So I've finally got all the moss on, and before the next trick that I like to apply with the mesh, we're just going to admire the moss work, because when the mesh is on, it's not going to look too pretty for a while, and it probably won't be until in the new year, probably around February, March time, the moss would have started to grow through the mesh. I still can't believe this tree cost me 20 quid from a basic garden centre. I cannot wait to style this. Now the next step is using this lush potting mesh. You can buy these online from Kaizen at multiple bundles. The delivery charge will shock you a bit, but it's worth it. Now what we want to do is try and guide it, you see, and my scissors that I use for everything, they're sharp and blunt in places, they're very old. These actually got Kaizen printed on them, bought them many years ago. So I want to chop it. And turn it around, try and work where the middle is. So if I do, so you chop it around here. And all the way, a little bit further than the middle. I'm just going to have it sitting on top like that for the meantime, and very carefully I want to make an incision here. Wish I had a cameraman. I do need to get some camera stands, which eventually to help me with the recording, but in the meantime you guys have to deal with this. And we're literally cutting around the trunks and the roots because we don't want the mesh going over the roots. It feels a bit tedious doing this, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. Just holding it down like this. Another thing why I like moss on the trees is if you're using tap water, it helps filter out all the calcium and the fluorides. Being really careful not to snap any of that wire. We don't want to snap any, not the wire, the roots. I'm just working around it. Now as this bit is placed in, we're just going to have a bit of temporary, it may not be temporary, it may be, and basically nice little U shape. That's a bit too tall. Now you want this going as deep as possible, but you don't want it to touch the bottom as soon as you put it in, because you want to be able to push it far down. And just get it like this. You've got the just feed it in, just like that for now. Now we're going to do this side. So what I'm doing now is going around all around the pot on the inside. Definitely does feel tedious at times, but it's going to be worth it. Don't want to overlap in the pot because it defeats the desired effect. Now it's for the main part, and it is literally pushing all this down as much as you can. With some wire. I'm just going to hold it all into place. So this is what it's looking like so far, and the process is almost complete. But what we now need to do is have wire and push that really in. Let's get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hope I can do it with 8. Let's have a go. Let's literally grab, fold. Try not to hit any roots. If you see any of the big roots moving, move your peg. See how that's going all the way down now? I'm just going to follow it around and adjust any of the other pegs when needed if the mesh starts popping up. Use as many as you need. The moss will grow over them. I wonder if I can have that tucked under. Oh, hello, little spider. Ooh, some little red spiders got some spider mite in on this tree. That's okay. So picea spruce, prone to spider mites. Just give it a blast with a hose later and that'll sort them out. I think one there. So now this one is too short. I do need that to come down more. Let's find some more wire. Whee! The old wire that I was holding it in should do the trick. Of course, old. Right, try and hold it down. Find a hole, push it in all the way. So here are just some examples I started on earlier on in the year and they're already almost covered. Is that done? This time next year you won't even be able to see the green mesh. Make sure all the wires are in. And this is it. Eventually all that moss will start growing through this mesh. That'll be lush green. Hey, look. Don't look too bad. So these are just a couple of examples of what will happen. These are the ones that I've done earlier on in the year and they're almost fully covered. This time next year you won't even be able to see the mesh. So here we are with the Bonsai spruce, which was bought early on in the year from the local garden centre at a nice price. All this mesh will be fully covered eventually and it will be barely noticeable, being covered in all the moss. And it's quite a nice looking tree to look at already. But eventually some of these branches is going to be cut back to further buds that are growing out and brought all the way down. It's got plenty of them. I did find some spider mite on it during the video, but it's had a spray since then and there's no notice of them already. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like and subscribe. If not, see you in the next one.